Hi, my name's Ashley Mould, and this is my exegetical sermon on humility. James 4:10, humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up in honour. What is humility? For the longest time, I always thought that humility was a bad thing, that it involved being humiliated and ridiculed for everything that you do. But being humiliated and having humility are two completely different things. I also didn't know that having humility and being humble were the same thing either. To be humble is to bring one's own self to a lower rank in his sight, whereas to be humiliated is where others embarrass or make you feel stupid or ashamed for your actions and decisions. Humility is ultimately the cure for a proud heart. In the book of James, a letter is written by James, to the New Testament believers. This letter was passed on from church to church, and the recipients, of which most had been suffering hardships and had fallen into the worldly ways and ultimately lost their love for one another. The book speaks of the importance of themes such as faith and deeds, the trials of faith, controlling the tongue, and the dangers of wealth. Chapter 4 introduces the crucial issue of quarrelling within the believing community. To combat these fights and arguments between people, James offers advice and solutions to end the dissensions, one of which passes through a majority of the verses: humility. James simply tells the community to humble themselves before God, to not think of themselves almighty or better than God. For us in contemporary society, James 4 provides advice on how to combat the schemes of the enemy. Parolo tells us that pride, sex, and money are just three of many ways that the enemy tries to destroy not only Christians, but all people today. To get by in life and make yourself happy, it is these three worldly temptations that have convinced most people that is what they need to make their lives worth living. But this is simply a tactic from the enemy to destroy us. In James 4:6 it says, God opposes the proud and favours the humble. We can quickly find out that if we want God to be for us and not against us, we need to put aside our pride and have a spirit of humility. So James 4:10 sets believers up today with the way to combat one of the methods the enemy uses to tear them down. To me, this passage was hard for me to understand until it was broken down by my pastor in one of our leadership sessions. I'm doing an internship at my church, so every week on a Wednesday I go in at 9 a.m. and I take part in a leadership session run by staff members or guest preachers or pastors, and it's literally a leadership session that is just encouraging and just teaches us how to lead. It's for our hearts, it's for our teams, and it's very inspiring and it's taught me so much. I could not understand why we shouldn't be proud of the work we have done and what we have achieved. However, pride in this context is not feeling happy from what you've achieved. Pride is feeling as though you are worthy of respect and honour for what you've done. This is why salvation is a gift from God, so we cannot boast or be proud of the works we have done to earn it, which we haven't done anything to earn it. I learned that God is not a proud God, so we shouldn't have a proud heart, because as I'm starting to become proud, I'm becoming unlike God. It says, humble yourselves before the Lord, not before people. Therefore, it's okay to be bold and have confidence. You just need to have a humble heart before God. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, people judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. It doesn't matter to me if people think I'm proud. As long as my heart is humble, that's all that counts. I'm a media person. I love media. I love designing, creating, watching. I love everything about it. As I run our youth group media pages such as Instagram and Facebook, a lot of time and effort goes into designing the posts that go up during the week. The other week at youth, a new girl had come for the first time by herself. When we asked her how she found out about a youth group, she said she found it on social media. She saw it on Facebook and said that it looked really cool and that she really wanted to come. So she decided to check it out. By the end of the night, after spending time with her and chatting to her and, just loving on her, we had a group meeting for youth leaders, and she was telling everyone beforehand how much she loved it and that she wants to come back. When all the youth team was having the meeting and was told of the good news, they applauded and congratulated me because it was my posts that attracted her. In that moment, I thanked everyone, of course, for their encouragements, but in my heart, I humbled myself and gave that glory to God. I said to myself, yes, I made those posts, but it was you, God, who gave me the creativity and the talent to be able to even do that. In moments like those, it's important to remember why you're doing what you're doing and who you're doing it for. Humility is something that pleases God. To be humble is to glorify God in your heart for the works you've done. In reference to them, humility was the solution to the quarrels that were going on amongst the believers, because they all thought as of themselves as better than one another. To us today, being humble is what will combat the ways of the world. Putting God before yourself in today's society and gratifying Him so He will exalt you rather than you exalting yourself. To me, humility is so important in my life because I don't want to take credit for what He had done or what He has given me. I'm sure most of us would rather be honoured by God than by man. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will lift you up in honour.